Cleveland. Time for Knicks NBA medals. Kyrie had 37 last night, but it was a solo mission. Steve Nash sat Kyrie for the last final 8+ minutes, so no medal for Kyrie. Nick, who did make your medal stand today?
Kyrie could have gotten a medal, but didn't come back in. They end up losing. He gets just off the stand. You know who does get one though? Luka, bronze medalist. Takes this game winner. Now, you guys know how I feel. Game winners only count if it's intentional. No lucky. You get no credit. Jason Tatum's banked in 3. No credit. I'm proud to report this morning, Luka and I worked on this exact shot for years growing up. This was intentional. No luck involved. Luka with the game winner of the year. Bronze medalist. Silver medalist, Joel Embiid. Oh, the Sixers might have fell apart late, but it wasn't Embiid's fault. 39 and 13, doing it all basically in the first 3 quarters. His third quarter was marvelous. DeAndre Jordan did his best, but DeAndre Jordan, you're too old and you're a little too slow. Gold medalist, Chef Curry. Steph says, we're going to make this play-in game by hook or crook. I'm going to drop 42 as my team wins by, what's that final margin? Oh, okay. They won by 134 points over the Thunder. The Thunder, by the way, America, you talk about Kevin Durant's Coinbase investment. You know what my investment that's gone up 54x is? Betting against the Thunder since the All-Star break. Oh, my God, printing money. Thank you, Steph Curry. They barely covered. They won by 40 points.
Question.
So there it is. There's your medals. Yeah, what up, Brandon? What's the question? Tell me.
Great job with the medals, but I got a question for you. Were you scared watching that game last night between the Nets and the 76ers? You had to be scared, bro.
Yes. Yes, at the end. Yeah, the Sixers stopped scoring. Yeah, I was very scared. I was absolutely scared. I was going to call in sick today if they blew that lead. Absolutely scared. Didn't happen, though. No medal, Kyrie. Luka, good job.
Now talk a little Cleveland Browns. So yesterday, the Browns made a big free agent splash. They signed 3-time Pro Bowler Jadeveon Clowney. So how about this? Clowney and Myles Garrett, nice little pass rushing duo there. I'm going to let Clowney tell you how excited he is for that. Take a listen.
How would you describe your career so far and sort of where you feel like you are in your evolution as a player right now?
The funny part thing I tell people about my career started off slow because I got hurt my first game of my career with a microfracture. Probably the worst injury you can have in this game. And I don't think everybody got to see the person they drafted yet. I think I'm working back towards that, but I'm well on my way now. I made 3 Pro Bowls, and it's funny because I ain't never really been all the way healthy to the point where I felt like nothing bothering me. So, but I still can dominate in this league. I know that. But if I ever reach that my max potential or getting back there like I feel now, man, they say the sky's the limit, but it's probably higher than that. And they got footprints on the moon on them. Well, that's what we're trying to reach.
All right. So, Brandon, what do you think realistically? How big of an impact will Clowney have on the Browns this season?
I think he can come in and contribute right away and make a huge impact. This is a good bet for the Cleveland Browns, not a great bet because of what he talked about, his injuries. You know, we're years in. Have an off season, really wasn't training. I'm really excited to see what this year is going to be for him because the Cleveland Browns are right there on the edge. Nick, you love Baker Mayfield. Obviously, the offense took a huge step next year, and if this defense can come around and they can make a huge stride when it comes to sacking the quarterback and putting pressure on the quarterback, man, this team can be dangerous.
Yeah, the questions for Cleveland, I believe, are more on the defensive side than the offensive side. Offensive side, they have a good offensive line. They have a great running game. They have a very good receiving core. And even if you're not high on Baker, nobody at this point thinks Baker's a bad quarterback. And some people, such as myself, think he's a very good quarterback. So offense, I think they're taken care of. The questions is the defense, most notably the defense against the pass. You have Myles Garrett, who's going to give you basically, almost a sack a game. Can you pair another pass rusher alongside him? And can the second secondary live up to its draft status. Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Greedy Williams were all first or second round picks, dealt with injuries. They spent a bunch of money on Josh Johnson to bring him over. So they hope that young secondary reaches its potential, and that it's helped by bookended pass rushers in the great Myles Garrett and the potentially great Clowney. So I really like the signing, but full disclosure on this, Wildes, I cannot quit Jadeveon Clowney. Every year, I'm like, he's going to have a dozen sacks. Do you remember the play? This isn't a fair comparison for Clowney, but do you remember Tyrus Thomas? Guy who went to LSU, he was a top 5 NBA draft pick. For the first 5 years of his career, I was like, man, this is the year Ty Thomas breaks out. I really believe in him. I think and it just never happened. I was like, every year I was waiting for the Ty Thomas breakout year. Clowney's been better than that. He's right. He made 3 Pro Bowls, was an All-Pro in 2016, but he's never put it all together. And if he can and if he does, he is an instant impact player. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Okay. You and I are in the same boat because I saw analysis on this signing, and everybody wants to be so serious. Like, you know what? I don't like big names. What I like is production. I like to see sacks. I like to see defensive run stoppers. Like, not me. You know what I like? College highlights. It's the same reason I like Odell Beckham. Not in college, but boom, oh, the one-handed catch. So now you got the strip sack and grab the ball, and you got the one-handed catch guy, both on the Browns. Now, do either of their knees work? Not 100% sure, to be totally honest. Clowney's had, Brandon, 5 knee surgeries. 5. He's 28.
Yes.
Like, huh? It's like Brad Pitt's 54. You're like, huh? Right. But the opposite way. He seems to be an old 28. But you've had more experience with sort of these injuries and guys in the locker room than I have. Do you feel like, there's 2 things I'm going to ask you. One, do you feel like there's a point where you have so many injuries that not only physically can you not get the job done, but mentally you can't get the job done, that you get up gingerly, that you attack the game differently? And 2, does it worry you that it's now 4 teams in 4 years, that there's just sort of like bouncing around the league, sort of gives you the lack of, I don't know, a home?
Yeah. Well, let me answer the last question. I feel like that's why his career has been derailed, because he's been so focused on the business and not the play. He switched agents a couple years ago to Kennard McGuire. There's a little bit more stability there. But remember how he left Houston. He was trying to get a mega deal and never got that. And he's been searching for that for a very long time. Now, when you look at the injuries, the hardest part is the recovery. So you're dead on, spot on when you're talking about the mental part. It's, can you get up every single day not feeling like the Clowney that we saw back in South Carolina, that big play that we all continue to watch, that highlight, taking somebody's helmet off? Like, can you get back to that when you're feeling like you're just feeling terrible? That's what Clowney has been dealing with. That's the hardest part in sports, is dealing with those injuries in the offseason.